I find it pretty hilarious that even myself on accident forgot who Shino was and didn't recognize him, and it was like, oh, while I was doing my live reaction, oh, that's the new teacher, I guess, not even knowing that that's Shino. Like, damn, still one of those people that you just don't care about. So with this video, I'm just going to be doing an overview of chapter 700 because, as some of you may know, the live reaction I did, there was some pages missing. Also, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what this new spin-off series, what I'm kind of expecting and hoping of it as well. So going to be talking about quite a bit of things in this one. So let's jump into it. So like I said, starting off, Shino being the teacher, it makes me wonder, does that mean that they just like are like, okay, your skills are all right, but they're not that good enough, so we'll just put you here? Because with the different positions that people have in the village and everything, even though there's no war or whatever, ultimately you see that they put people that, I would assume that since Shino's older, he has a pretty decent ability, you know, from the Bug Clan, whatever, he would have been able to do bigger things, but they got him as a teacher, so I guess for now, since there's times of peace, they just put him there. Or is it that he's just not that strong to be like on the prowl or whatever, or did he give up as being like, you know, a shinobi of the leaf going around or whatever, and just kind of stood still as a teacher? Now, from what I'm hearing, Bolt is apparently the English version for Neji. Neji is Japanese for Bolt. I'm not 100% sure about that, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about first of all is his name, because everybody's saying it's a stupid name. Well, not everybody, but quite a few people are saying it's a stupid name. First of all, in Japanese, it makes a lot more sense because, first of all, it goes Boruto, just one difference from Naruto, but also Bolt. I don't know, it's alright. It doesn't translate well to English. I definitely can agree with that, but I think in Japanese it fits very well. Not only is it its own name, but it's kind of a play off of Naruto as well. And with Shikamaru's son and Tamari's son, I think that he should have been maybe a little bit different, because in retrospect, while it's cool as shit, and again, I'm hoping for the spinoff to be on some like part 1 shit with all the little kids and everything kind of building up, but he does look kind of like a clone almost of his father when he was younger. Like, that's a drag, and design-wise, he looks identical to him. So while it's cool in a way, it's like, oh shit, we got Shikamaru all over again, you know, being lazy, or not lazy, but just not giving a fuck. Ultimately, I'm hoping anyway that there's more of a difference to him than his father. He's not completely a clone of him, because as of right now, his looks are the same, and his attitude from when Shikamaru was younger is the same. So hopefully there's a change in him. And then with Naruto's son pulling pranks, I definitely feel as though when he was pulling the pranks and everything, you kind of see that it was a similarity, that people just didn't want to be bothered with pulling pranks. Shikamaru's son was like, you know, Shikadai, no, we don't got time for that, and everyone else was kind of like, no, no, no. So you can definitely see in a way he still is kind of, even if it's not necessarily on the same thing as like Naruto, where he had nobody and nobody gave a fuck about Naruto, this kid is like, he's still facing the same thing that a lot of people face today, even though like he has his mom or whatever. His father's really busy. Again, I think ideally a guy, you know, growing up and everything, they're not going to want to be under their mom, and just like there's only certain things that you're going to talk to your mom about, and there's certain things that, you know, you need a man to identify with. So with him being like in that category, that's why he's doing these things. And while he's pulling pranks, again, he's kind of like, you know, the average class clown. The average class clown is looking for attention, and that's where I feel Naruto's son fits in. He's not quite the same tragic, you know, at all to any degree that Naruto was, you know, same tragic character, but ultimately he still is one of those people that just want attention because they're not getting it enough at home, I guess. He not just maybe all the time with the little girl, maybe there's some jealousy there, who the fuck knows. So we got the Ino Shikacho training, and first of all, size kid, I honestly couldn't tell if that was a boy or a girl. I wish the design was a little bit different because it just looked kind of fucking weird. It's like Sai with blonde hair. Honestly, I was just a little bit like, is that a boy or a girl? And yeah, I wasn't feeling the design too much because it just seemed a little bit random as fuck. I think they should have did a little bit of a hybrid or something of the both of them, but I mean, whatever, it's Sai's kid. I mean, in all honesty, I'm surprised that Sai actually went with somebody, because I remember in part 2, she put in when he first met Ino and everything, she was kind of feeling him. So in that aspect, okay, yeah, Ino was looking at him like he's attractive, but I think, if I'm correct, he said something like either she's ugly or he don't find her attractive or her breath stinks, something there he said about Ino. So what made him change? Is his personality change? I would have loved to find out has his personality? Has he gained a personality for that matter? Does he have a clear understanding now of emotions and everything? And Choji's daughter, same thing as the father, you know, kind of chubby, eating all the time. I'm glad that it's different from Choji though, that it's actually a girl and she looks different. She looks like she's a mix this time. She's half African American and half whatever the hell Choji is. So in that aspect, I guess it's cool, something different. I prefer that than like Sai's weird looking fucking kid, or Shikadai being a clone of his father, which is still cool. And I'm like, oh shit, we got like, you know, mini Shikamaru going on, but it's not the same, obviously. And I'm glad that Chocho, even though, again, it's like a weird looking design as well, it still was a little bit more original than the rest. What the fuck was Anko doing this entire time? She went from like, oh man, Anko, to, oh man, Anko. Like, she fucking gained a lot of weight. So in times of peace, I guess, that's where she just kind of let herself go. I'm glad that they're keeping Neji's grave and Neji's memory alive and very well, because at the end of the day, he was a character that we all really respected and liked. So to see that Hinata, at the very least, is, you know, keeping the memory alive with her daughter, which her daughter right now looks a lot younger than the rest of them, so she's probably still at home, still like, you know, a little baby type of thing. Like maybe she's 5 or 6 and Bolt is like 10 or something like that. So you can see she's with Mama, and you know, she's not really like up there. So even if the spin-off happens like right at this current timeline, ultimately she's a baby and she's not going to have much of a role in it other than seeing her from time to time with Mama. And I'm wondering what's going on with the clan. I would have loved to see something being addressed about that. Do they completely do away with the curse at this point? The main branch and the sub-branch, is that done as well? Does Himawari have to go through that thing where she gets a curse mark on her forehead, or did they completely get rid of it? Okay, here's something very interesting that I thought of, because a lot of people are saying when we saw Lee and his kid, that kid is more than likely Tenten, because we see Tenten on the next page, and it could very well so be. But I thought it would be a lot more interesting, because who did Lee want to be with? Remember, from part 1, he wanted to be with Sakura. That's who he wanted, right? And obviously we see later on Sakura with a daughter, and then the daughter refers to Papa as Sasuke. I was thinking, what if, because Sasuke, he clearly, you can see he's like abandoning them and he's not really around. And I'll talk more about that later, but what if something happened where she had, you know, Sakura and Sasuke boned and had a kid, or something even further than that? But what if, okay, she had that kid and Sasuke's still not around, and Sakura and Lee eventually got together, and that's actually Lee and Sakura's kid. I thought that would make a lot more of an interesting thing. It would actually make a little bit more of redemption for Sakura in a way, as far as like us liking her, because it's like she got what she wanted and she kept following after that Uchiha booty and she got him. But I think it would be more interesting if Lee got what he wanted, and ultimately after that she was like, you know, I can't take it, he's never home, I'm by myself and I'm gonna raise this daughter by myself. And Lee was like, no, I'll be there for you. And then eventually they had a kid. I think that would be very interesting as well, like siblings of a Lee type of character with Sasuke type of daughter in a way, even though she doesn't look as like depressed as fuck as Sasuke was all those years ago. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I think that'd be, again, a very interesting thing if that's who the real mother of Lee's child is. Of course, it looked as though it might have been Tenten because we saw her right after, but who the fuck knows? I noticed in Tenten's shop, why the fuck does she have the legendary tools there on display? I don't think it was for sale or anything, but yeah, they if somebody, let's just say right now, if a Bolt wanted to fuck around, he could swipe those tools and he'll be a fucking god with those weapons there. So those weapons should be somewhere hidden, regardless if we're in times of peace or whatever. At the end of the day, those are strong fucking weapons. And the fact that her shop is failing, like, why would you make a weapons shop, a ninja tool shop, if we're in times of peace? Nobody needs them. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm not a fan of Gaara's design. I liked his part 1 design, I liked his Shippuden design. His design in the last Naruto the movie was, I wasn't too fond of it, but I didn't really dislike it per se. But this one, I just like, he turned out to look like some bellboy. Can I get your box, sir? Like, what the fuck? So I wasn't a big fan of his design, to be honest. And in that little particular section, we find out as well that it's Temari and Shikamaru that actually had that kid, which that was one of the pairings. Like, a lot of the pairings in here, we didn't really get too much hinting. I mean, in the very beginning of Shippuden, Ino slightly showed that she thought Sai was hot or whatever, but that was the extent of it. The Choji and Karui, that came out of fucking nowhere. I think the Temari and Shikamaru was hinted for quite a bit, so that was one of the ones that, like, okay, I totally saw that one coming. And speaking of designs that I don't care for, I really don't care for Kankuros. He looks like he's a fucking pedophile rapist or something hiding behind that wall. We have to go, Gaara. Like, bro, take the fucking makeup off. You're like fucking 30-something years old. And here's something that I fucking found hilarious, because this was a mistake when I was doing my live reaction. I was like, oh, this must be a translation error. But in actuality, once again, Kiba, even though he looks beast as fuck, he's still the same crusty motherfucker, same salty motherfucker talking about, oh yeah, basically he was trying to like, I guess, impress that girl, so Kiba kind of stood, like, alone, I guess, and that's the first girl that, I don't know, first girl, but that's one of the girls that he's trying to actually put the moves on, and he's like, yeah, the 7th Hokage, meaning himself, turned down the position, because, you know, you gotta hide your power, like, motherfucker, how old are you? You're probably, like, in your late 20s at the very least. Stop being a fucking crust fuck. You, like, you look so beast, but... yeah, Kiba's still crusty and salty as ever. I think it would have been interesting to get some interaction between Kurenai's daughter and Shikamaru, see what their relationship was like, because remember, that was a task that he was kept, like, he was going to take care of Asuma's kid, and we kind of didn't get any of that. She was going on a mission to actually be with Kakashi and Guy, so I wonder what that's all about. Is it just that, like, oh, she's a replacement for Asuma as far as friends go? Or what's up with that? I would have liked to see Shikamaru's involvement with her and ultimately what their relationship is like. And I ain't gonna lie, Guy's life looks depressing as fuck. And here's something interesting as well that I know people are gonna say is stupid as fuck, and I think it's stupid as fuck, but I find some sort of curiosity and interest in all of it. And this is what I was thinking, like, in this spin-off, what if Guy is slightly bitter that the fact that he's crippled for life and he would have rather had died? And what if he's so bitter about that he, even if it's to a small, very minuscule scale, becomes like some sort of villain and starts fucking shit up? Like, I don't even care. Even if it's just like he's busting the fucking Ichiraku windows or something out, he's just like, fuck this shit on the sneak tip, and somebody has to remind him, like, yo, what happened to the springtime of youth, or it has to be Lee or something, and eventually he, like, realizes, you know what, whatever. I don't know, I just, even if it's on a minuscule level like that, of him just busting windows out on the sneak tip, I would like to see Guy being, because at the end of the day, anyone would be bitter. I think anyone would be legitimately bitter if they were wheelchair bound for the rest of their life. So if it was something like that, while, again, it sounds stupid as fuck, I think I find some interest in it. I don't know. Also makes me wonder how long Kakashi was Hokage for, because it seems as though it was fairly recent that he stepped down and gave Naruto the position. Maybe a few months or something. I don't know. So I'm wondering how long did he stay as Hokage. And again, I really wish they would have addressed how he became Hokage. Did Tsunade step down? Was he voted? Was it like, oh, he's some hero that helped Naruto? Why was he appointed Hokage? That's something that I really feel needs to be addressed. And I think it'll be addressed in the last Naruto the movie. But if it isn't, in the new spin-off, that's something that I would like to hear, even if it's just a line or two. Okay, and then the previous 5 Kage, we have Unoki looking like he's about to die at any second. We have Raikage looking like Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. We have Mei, aka the Mizukage, looking like she gained some weight and she's still depressed. I mean, I think that that's total bullshit. She never found a man. I think that's horseshit. Any man would want to fucking ride that thing like a bull. And then Tsunade looks even younger, and it's like, how the fuck Tsunade don't got... I don't give a fuck if I know how old she really is and how old she's supposed to look. I will fucking tap that shit from here to Kingdom Come, so I find that bullshit as well. Not much really to say about B. He's still rapping, still chilling, still just relaxing. So, yeah. You definitely see that technology has advanced quite a bit in the Naruto universe. I mean, Naruto's on a fucking MacBook. Like, we knew that it was weird and wonky, the world of Naruto, when it comes to electronics and things like that, because they had, like, headsets, and I think it was Shippuden and things like that when they were doing little things. So, or I think it was in part 1 as well. I don't know, but we've seen that they had technology, but now it looks like it's on a whole different scale. Like, again, they're on fucking MacBooks. What the fuck? Chika looks just like his dad. Like, Shikamaru looks exactly like his dad as well. So, I guess in a sense that kind of makes sense that his son will look like him, since he looks like his father. Maybe the Shikamaru genes are just really fucking strong. You know, that family, they have strong genes. One of the things I neglected to mention as well in my live reaction is it seems as though Naruto knows the flying Raijin. I call it flying Raijin. I think it was Shisun Jutsu or whatever, but he learned that technique, so he's obviously at this point probably mastered everything you could think of. He's just OP as a motherfucker. And I think the interesting thing is he probably has those marks on his kids, so that way, in case anybody tries to kidnap his kids, because he's, you know, very famous, legendary ninja, whatever, anything happens to his kids, he can immediately teleport to them. So very smart on his side. Although I gotta say that I feel as though going through the experiences that he went through, and even though it made him a great person, and ultimately he is who he is, I kind of got to feel that the way he treated the Bolt situation, he was slightly being a little bit of, I don't know what's the word to put it, but I think that he should have been a little bit more sympathetic to him, because you went through something very similar where you wanted attention, and I think he should have said, all right, you know, after my meetings tonight, me and you will clean this up together, we'll spend some time, something like that. So that was one thing I felt as though, like, Naruto, you've been in those shoes. Why the fuck are you acting like this? Like, you should be a little bit more understanding of what he's going through. Even if it's just that he's, like, kind of a spoiled kid and he has people around him ultimately, he's still, you know, that's your son. You've been through that too. What the fuck was up with Konohamaru on both balls? Like, you were in those shoes as well. You were messing with the 3rd Hokage back in the day as well, busting in his office on some bullshit. Like, some hypocrisy here. Did they forget what they've been through? Although I couldn't help but think maybe he's his mentor, similar to, I can't remember the dude's name. It might be Ibiki or something, but the dude with the shades that was Konohamaru's mentor, maybe Konohamaru is Bolt's mentor, and that's why he was so hard on him. Other than that, why the fuck are you on his balls so much? Like, who the fuck are you? And then Sakura's daughter, Salad. Here's something that I thought as well. What if, because she looks a lot like Karin, what if that's not actually Sakura's daughter? What if Karin had her? Because we didn't see what the fuck happened with Taka, period. What if that's actually Karin's daughter? Sasuke brought her one day and said, please raise her because her mother, something happened. Maybe Karin killed herself. Maybe Karin died. Who the fuck knows? And Sakura's raising her for Sasuke because, you know, she'll do anything for Sasuke. I wouldn't be surprised, and in all honesty, if that's the case, it kind of makes Sakura look even more pathetic, but you never fucking know. I honestly wouldn't be surprised because she looks just like Karin. And at first when I read this, and a lot of people made the mistake as well, they think that, oh, who the fuck is sneaky behind Sasuke? Could it be Orochimaru again? If you look closely from panel to panel, from page to page, she was following her father. That's why she said, I'm so Shanaro, while she's looking behind him. And then you see him say, wait, who's there? That's him being followed by his daughter, which means not only is he neglecting Sakura, but he's neglecting his daughter as well. Scumbag of the year, Sasuke Uchiha. And then the 5 Kage Summit, the thing that I fucking missed in my live reaction. Thank you, site that fucking was missing the page. You're amazing. For starters, Darui, I figured, like, out of everyone, that was the one I was talking to my friends, and I said, this is exactly who I think should be the next Raikage. Like, Omoi, him being the advisor, I was talking between those two. Omoi fits the role perfectly. That's exactly a great setup right there. The one where Unuki's, I think, granddaughter or daughter, it's alright, but like I don't know how strong she could really be. And then the one, the Mizukage, the little kid, I think Chojuro, he's like, oh, right, I guess, because there was never really any development on their sides to see who would be better than them. So I guess they fit it. Gaara as the Kazekage, I mean, at the end of the day, the Sand Village, they're fucked once Gaara leaves, because he's really the only one that is at that level to take it over. I mean, who else is going to take it over? Kankuro? Tamari? Like, unless he has a kid or something, which it didn't show Gaara had kids, so Gaara might have never got a bitch, I guess. Hey, sorry, Gaara. But, yeah, I guess Gaara being the Kazekage, that's the only choice that they have. And then, of course, Naruto being Hokage, perfect. Like, I just thought, you know, this is what we needed to see. We needed to see him get his goal and ultimately obtain it. And you just see a whole difference there. Like, before they were the Hidden Leaf Village. Now they're the village dancing in the leaf. So a lot has changed, and we're in peaceful times for sure. And just to mention, I think it was trying to represent as well maybe that Bolt is a One Piece fan, having the Jolly Roger on the Hokage. That's what I was thinking they were trying to signify as well. Also, just quickly want to mention, in this spin-off, if they are going to address certain things, like, you see that it looks like there's fucking New York City behind the Hokage mountain. Again, that signifies they're not the village hidden in the leaves anymore because they're not hiding. But with that giant city, like, I want to see that explored like a motherfucker. Like, just seeing these ninja inside of a giant city sounds crazy. And now here's some things regarding the next series or the spin-off or part 3, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that I would like to see. For starters, I definitely want to find out what the fuck happened to Orochimaru and the Taka. What happened to Karin, Suigetsu, Jugo, Orochimaru? Where's Sasuke going all these times? Like, as shitty as it would be, because he's come to an understanding at this point that he wants to protect the leaf. He's on Naruto's side, all that good shit, but he's in a self-imposed exile still, seemingly anyway. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of coup d'etat being brewed there. I wouldn't be surprised at all. If it is, and again, this is all under assumption, it would be stupid as fuck on Sasuke's part. Like, you fucking hypocritical, moronic piece of shit, just die already. But at the same time, I think that it would be great setup in a sense to possibly, like, if Sasuke and Naruto clash yet again, Naruto better fucking die, or Sasuke better die, or both of them, and that would be huge character development for Bolt's part. Like, Bolt would have to see his father die, and I at this point as well, I don't want Bolt to want to become Hokage, because we have Minato, Naruto, the grandson, and then his son. No. I think Bolt should aspire to be something completely different. Maybe it's just his goal is to step out of his father's shadow, because his father is the guy that slayed the Jubi and all that other shit. So I think that maybe that should be his goal and not Hokage. I know this is a long fucking shot. I think it would be very appropriate as well and very interesting if Sasuke's daughter decides that she wants to become Hokage and eventually does, because at the end of the day, first Uchiha Hokage she would be, and a female, and ultimately from Sasuke's daughter, which kind of would show that all the shit that he did, ultimately at least his daughter can make up for it, and she'd have a lot of hardship. I mean, people picking on her, your father was this and that, so I think that would be very appropriate as well, and seeing the dynamics and the difference between the son of the Hokage and the legend, not wanting to be and just wanting to step out of his father's shadow. As far as villains left, we still have Orochimaru. We don't know what the fuck happened to him. We still haven't had Hamura addressed yet what the fuck happened to him as well. Hidan's clan and the leader, Hashin, I think his name was, we don't know what the fuck is up. Hidan is still alive, even if he's just a head down there. And I mean, at the end of the day, we never got to find out why Orochi was doing all these things. He said research, but we know that's bullshit. So I want to know what the fuck happened with Orochimaru. What was his goals? And there's a lot of things as far as Orochimaru goes that never got addressed. And it's kind of like, yeah, so what was Orochimaru up to this entire time? And I think if Kishimoto left him alive, it could be that he might be a big villain later on. And pretty much that's everything that I wanted to address as far as chapter 700 and the spin-off, what I'd like to see, my thoughts on everything. That's what I would like to see. There's a huge city. There's brand new characters. I want to see them just do some awesome shit, maybe tuning exam or getting, first of all, them becoming getting and everything. So there's a lot of things that I definitely want to see with this new one. But ultimately, awesome ending again, as I said in my live reaction. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are you expecting from the spin-off? What are you looking forward to? And your overall thoughts of the finale. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you can do so as well, that'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day. And if you're a Naruto manga reader, I look forward to seeing you in the spin-off reviews.